Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about my practice, but also how I want to focus or shift my focus a little bit more this year. And that's especially to, deck collecting, right? I mean, we got so many decks. Um, and I've always said, right, if something doesn't work for me, it goes, right? Excuse me. Um, and even though I don't consider myself a collector, I still have multiple decks. I am definitely not a minimalist. Um, there are decks that are out there that I might take a chance on. Others, yeah, not so much. In the beginning of January, I cut my collection by roughly 50%. Um, I was very honest with myself about how much I use a deck. For example, everything is in categories with me, I don't go by season. I go by decks I use for ancestral work, decks I use for spiritual work, decks yeah, how would you say that, per spiritual work, you know what I mean, like in the sense of when one day it will fall under ancestral work because, it's a part of my ancestry. Right now, for example, the orishas, they will fall under my spiritual work, because I'm still studying them. I'm still learning them. I'm getting to know them more and more. Um, but under my spiritual work will also be my Magdalene practice, right? So decks I use for that. My Sekhmet and Bess practice. So I have decks I use for that. My divine feminine work, I have decks I use for that, and so forth, right? But in every mini collection, so to speak, right? Practice or ancestor work, I have multiple decks. And while that is, of course, okay, I mean, as long as it works for you, that's fine, right? But I found myself wanting to use a certain deck family, in the sense of oracles and tarots I use together more than I wanted others. I put them in that category because, my myself wants to be using it more than I actually do. So there are moments when I take my favorite pairings, right? And then I kind of feel guilty because I'm not using the other ones that much. Or I'm forcing myself, right, to be using the other ones while I actually lean more to, my favorites. Um, and again, I was brutally honest with myself. And this is how 50% of my collection left. And don't get me wrong, I can still utterly fail in this, right? But my intention, right, is to be way more careful with what I buy. Even if I would buy only one deck a month, yeah, um, that is still 12 decks a year, and that's not going to do me any good if at the end of the day, those 12 decks, right, are not totally fitting a practice. If that means that other decks leave, that's fine. If it means I'm just filling up this part of the collection and I'm not using them, then that's not fine. Over the years, I've been more and more leaning towards using decks I made myself, right? Because while a deck can be perfect, we all have those decks, right? They're perfect, but whether that's cardstock or whatever for somebody, I don't really care about those things. But you always have that one or two or three cards, right, that don't feel right. And I have been noticing with myself that I'm enjoying the decks I'm making. Of all the decks that I've made so far, I think there are one or two that still, even though I like the premises of them, right? I like what I created. I still haven't found a place for them in my workings, and that, of course, still is a problem. But because I made them myself, I feel like even if I invested money in a printer, I feel less guilty because I know when I'm designing them that, yeah, I don't know, right? I have an idea of how I want to work with them, but if that theory doesn't become a reality in practice, right? Um, I'm okay with that. Either one day it will, or well, it won't, right? That's fine too. So in January, this one was not planned. I will explain. And I really got it dirt cheap. If anybody knew how cheap I got that deck and what deck it is, yeah, I might actually get hate mail. I did get this one, and in all honesty, okay, let me put this aside. And in all honesty, there was one card, and then I still didn't want to do it. That really drew me in, and then I was like, yeah, but that's one card. That's not enough, right? And in the time span of well over a year, I kept seeing an Instagram friend and Facebook friend, yeah, use it, and every time she does, yeah, I'm intrigued. I go back, to check prices or whatever. And the last time I went back, that was I think end of December, beginning of January. Um, I was again intrigued. I went to Etsy and I was already trying to talk myself out of it, right? Because well, I have intentions. um, it was on sale. I didn't have to pay shipping, and there was no VAT cost for me, custom fees. So yeah, I was utterly tempted. And till now, I mean, we're very early in, right? I'm only having it like a month. But till now, yeah, I don't regret it. So the Oracle Dior, I don't know. Anywho, let me get the booklet away. I'm really still in the beginning phases, yeah, of getting to know this deck. I did 2 readings with it, which both, yeah, were amazing. And I say 2 readings, even in a time span of a month, because I use this as a focus, and I'm building other readings around it. So even after one reading, I'm not putting the card away, right? I'm building on the other reading. So I'm keeping it as my focus point. So yeah, this one, like I said, I've seen multiple times. I keep going back to it. And this one was, even though, like I said, I was definitely seduced by no shipping and no custom fees. Not gonna lie. But because the price then was very reasonable, because everything fell away, I wanted to take a chance on this one. If that means, yeah, that in time I will not use it, yeah, hey, it will go too. But even though I have similar things like this, I have nothing that really is like this. And I want to explore this more. So yeah, like I said, I cannot say, yeah, for sure it's the best thing I ever got, or you know what I mean. But the 2 different pulls I did with this and the readings I built on it, they were amazing. So I'm like I said, I'm just getting to know it. Yeah, I'm liking what I see, which already is a good start, right? Sometimes we get something and we don't click with it, and then we put it in the closet, right? And then we think we will come back to it, but because we didn't click with it, we don't really go back to it. You know what I mean? So yeah. This one, like I said, I had a great start with. I really did. And yeah, sorry. Some people don't like bugs. I don't like this one either. But yeah, it's there. I'm gonna have to deal with it. Spiders are not my thing. So, 1 second. Sorry, I suddenly had the horrific feeling that I didn't press play. Okay, sorry. Okay, so yeah, like I said, the thing well, let me say what I don't like about the deck, right? There's always something, but yeah, I can be okay with it because it's what was it again? They said, yeah, Odilon Redon. He was an artist, always searching for the shadow, something with black and white. Anyway, on their site or Etsy, they will describe it. And the thing with this one is, there is one that is questionable, maybe melanated. Yeah, the rest is definitely very white. I don't know. Like I said, normally that would, I think, bug me a little bit more. I think it's the kind of art that makes me, well, okay with it, you know? And especially, I did one deck that I wanted to pair with this. Yeah, this one, like I said, questionable. Maybe a little bit melanated. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I'm still in the beginning phases of this. Because even though we have some faces, some are questionably human. Okay, there's a lot going on there. And one of my favorite decks that is really important in my practice is the Somnia Tarot. And yeah, there is no melanated people in that one too. Which is really sad, but yeah, I do love that deck. So there are some decks that I'm maybe more willing to forgive. This is definitely one of them. I will show this one again in a second because I have another deck that I made myself that I want to show with it. But we will get back to this one then. Okay, this one. This is a deck. Okay, let me just show it. Yeah. I found in a plastic bag, yeah, in a secondhand shop by the board games. I always check there for playing cards because a lot of people get rid of their playing cards and I love playing cards. So I always go there and I could not believe that this was there because if I'm not mistaken, yeah, this is the indie version. There is no box, there is no book. Like I said, it was in a plastic bag. And like I said, if I ever tell you how the price that I bought this for, yeah, again, I might get some hate mail. When I saw this deck come out, my first take was no, because there's a lot of goddesses or goddess energy, you know, because some are not really goddesses, but besides that. That are not my forte, that I don't work with, you know, so I was not going to invest in the indie version of this deck. Then it came mass market, and I was like, well, maybe, right? But then I saw the price of the mass market, and I was like, well, hell no. Also, I didn't like the design, yeah, of the mass market one. And again, for that price, for a deck I'm not sure about, that was not going to happen. The thing is, even though my initial reaction was no, yeah, I kept looking at it, especially when it came mass market. I kept looking at it. Even though I knew, like, no, I kept going back. I never bought it, like I said. But if I tell you the price, I might get hate mail. But believe me, it was so cheap that you might actually hate me if you're looking for this deck. So this is what made me get it, yeah, because I was like, well, for that price, yeah, I have the option of getting to know it and make a decision, right? Another thing I'm actually not just not liking, but actually really hating in this deck, and it's something I mentioned before, the Egyptian goddesses are all yellow. And I mean yellow, yeah, more yellow than this. And I don't understand it, you know? Well, I understand it, but I don't understand it. Because while I'm not sure, let me be clear about that, I don't know every culture given, right? But because it looks like there are a lot of cultures here, this is what I mean, yeah, yellow. Why is she yellow? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go on a rant here. while we see a lot of cultures, we see that cultural diversity. Again, I don't know if they are depicted right, because you might be from a culture watching this and be like, oh hell no, they didn't do it right, you know what I mean. So I'm not sure. I love this one. I mean, absolutely amazing. But again, when it comes to Egyptian culture, yeah, to get yellow people, yeah, I'm not just not liking it. I'm really hating it. And I want to go on a rant like, why the hell do you do that? Again, we see multiple cultures hoping that they did all of that right. Yeah. Why not the Egyptian culture? Why are you making us yellow? We were not yellow. Yeah. They were black like the earth. Anywho, like I said, the Oracle door. Or I don't know. I got that for a good price. Like I said, no shipping, no custom fees. So I only paid for the deck, and there was a sale on the deck. And this one again, I'm not even gonna tell you because people are gonna hate me. The thing is, like I said, for the price that it was, yeah, I wanted to take the chance. I was like, I'm gonna try it, because in the worst case scenario, if I really don't like it, I found online for free, yeah, the PDF with the guidebook. And while I would love a box, I don't need a box. You know what I mean? So if I'm not gonna use it, then maybe somebody else, yeah, will be happy with it. For now, yeah, I didn't make a decision yet. You can see it's still even in order. I will play with it when I feel like I want to, and if in time I really never reach for it, well, again, then I can always sell it, give it away, whatever. There was just something over the years. I kept looking at this deck while yelling in my head, like, no, 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 no. And then I kept looking at it anyway. I don't like, the mass market version. I don't like the big thing, banner. I don't like the back. They don't fit. Although, in all honesty, I still think this is weird too. But it's still better than the mass market one. So yeah, anywho, I got this purely by coincidence. There's a little secondhand shop in our city center, and I used to go there. I check for secondhand books because, well, I love books, and I check the board game section because there's always playing card, and apparently now, yeah, an indie deck, which again, I was shocked. And I love to get my playing card decks there. I found once a deck there with on every card a different animal, which I really loved, and it was like 50 cents, I love to get my stuff there. Okay, so these two decks, even though we're only like a month and not even a half in, right? But again, I promise you, those two decks together, yeah. Let me put it like this. The money I spent on those two decks was cheaper than the mass markets of this deck new. So I did good. However, this month, yeah, I didn't want to buy anything. I know that next month I will get a melanated deck that's going mass market. And I want that one. I know I'm not going to fight myself. I want that one. But this month, yeah, I checked my my Canva app where I designed my decks, and I was looking at what I really wanted to print, and there was even one deck that I wasn't sure of, so I put it in the same size, so I didn't need to spend more, right? To get it out of there, to see it, because it's such a long time ago that I made it. And well, anyway, we will see. We will come there. So one thing I did, okay, let me put this here, and let me get my deck that I wanted to use it with there. So this is the Delta Enduring Tarot, and this is a deck that, for the life of me, I cannot find an oracle deck for, and I just cannot find anything that I like. So I was like, well, can I make something myself, right? And the thing is, nothing really fitted this style because, well, if I'm really gonna go from scratch, right, then it's gonna be photo collage. Yeah, this is what I do. This is what I like to do. I cannot draw anything drawn. Yeah, is looking fake. Yeah, the way I make it, it's just it's. I don't feel the vibe. So I couldn't really design anything with it, and then it fell flat, right? Then I let it go for a little bit, and recently, a couple of months ago, I was thinking about, okay, what about projects I started but didn't finish because, again, it didn't feel right. Yes, and there was one. Which was I wanted to make a deck with African proverbs. And I had some proverbs saved, you know. I just didn't know what I wanted to do with, well, the design of the deck. So I put this, yeah, I let Canva find the coloration, yeah, of this deck, the colors. I think this is the problem with no deck will fit with this. The colors are different. So I took the colors from this deck. Okay, let me spread it a little bit. I took the colors from the Delta Enduring. I let Canva find it out for me, you know. And then, yeah, I used them as backings here because this was the problem. I didn't want to make the text small and then have just some random pictures, right? Even, for example, here it says, judge each day not by the harvest, but by the seeds you planted. So I could make planted seeds there, right? But again, I was just not feeling it. The borders here are this creamy beige, yeah. So I let them come back here, and in my little sign thing here, little symbol thingy, and like I said, I used colors, yeah, that come from the Delta Enduring, and then I just placed the African proverb big on it. And in the yellow box, yeah, I placed which one it was. So this is a Ghanaian, you know. And even if a color is not coming back, they still kind of fit together, and I really like that. So let me show you just a few examples. You see here, even that purple is coming back. Sometimes you need to look, but most of the times I can definitely see it, you know? Yeah, with some proverbs, I couldn't find the country, nation, you know, in Africa, where it really came from, so it just became African proverb. If I knew, I put it there. So yeah, this is what it became, and even this yellow is not coming back here, but the whole deck, yeah, is I don't know, it's fitting. It works. So the colorations work. I love the African proverb, but again, I just got it. I don't know how well it's gonna be, you know. I'm still in my getting to know it phase, right? And see, I did do like I do now, and then did some quick, like reading it and then seeing the cards moving on. Yeah. So just see how it felt, and that was actually kind of fun. That really worked, you know. So yeah, that made me happy. That really made me happy. So yeah, this is I mean, I wanted the African Proverbs deck, but again, with design, I didn't know. I didn't want to just have plain black or plain white. I didn't want to work with photo collage. I didn't want to do any of that. And then, like I said, it became this thing in the sense of the colorations. And then it kind of worked, you know. So I hope this works. Even if it doesn't, I mean, the deck in itself I can use, right? I just use the colorations to see if I would like to pair it with the Delta Enduring. Which, like I said, I just started, but I kind of like it, you know. I kind of like it. I mean, you see these blues? I mean, like I said, Canva did a great job, yeah, extracting the right colors. So I would have them. I mean, come on. That's beautiful. And again, So again, I'm really enjoying the design aspect, and I was really enjoying, like I said, the quick pulling like I'm doing now, but yeah, paying a little bit more attention. And that was really working too. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping that with use, yeah, this is gonna be a great combination. So let's go. Again, I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping. Because yeah, for the Delta Enduring, I couldn't find a great oracle if my life depended on it. So yeah, like I said, I mean, you see, isn't it beautiful? I mean, I really like it. Oh yeah, these are my backings, just black with the beige dots and that little symbol back only in color. I mean, simple, easy, fun, and again, definitely liking it. So yeah, this one I already had then, of course. This one came in. I made that a couple of months ago, but yeah, I didn't pull the trigger yet. I did now, like I said, because I wanted to focus a little bit more on decks I made myself. Especially, like I said, I wanted to see what was there that I wanted to try. There is one, yeah, I'm really not sure about. I think this deck has been in my in my folder for over a year, and I still didn't pull the trigger. And this time I was like, I'm just gonna print it, and I'm gonna be looking at it. I'm gonna be maybe taking cards out that don't work for me, because I already have some that I'm like, nah. The problem is the art. I used AI art. Yeah. These were all on Pinterest. They were already there. It's not like I made a machine and made them, I was just looking for some art. And in all honesty, okay, let me find at least one. Yeah, this is where it started. There are a few more of this underwater, like in a blue. Yeah, here too. This one. It started with a set of this and another one that I found beautiful. I knew it was AI art, but I still found them beautiful. They evoked emotion, And this is where my Pinterest, went into a rabbit hole of different pictures. And okay, I forgot the name. If I can find it, I will put it in the screen. Or if I forget, you can always ask me and I will look for it. But there was this book, and it talked about different kind of angels, but everything was like focused on nutrition or something. Again, this is over a year or year and a half ago. I dove in it. I tried to make this deck. Even when I was done, I was not feeling it, so I never printed it. Like I said, this time, because I had certain intentions, I was like, well, get it out. Let me see what works. Let me see what doesn't work, because this deck was made, because there is one deck that I know of, but it's out of print, that has melanated angels. And I don't know the name. I'm sorry. It's somewhere in my saved websites, I never found them again. Everything is white angels. I didn't want white angels. I also didn't want to have a lot of people with fake wings. Does an angel really need to have wings? So you know what I mean? So, and this is also why, I'm talking, so let me just go through them so you can see. Everything was not feeling right. You know what I mean? I wanted melanated angels. I didn't want wings. I had this whole list of different kind of angels, which was really fun. A few were like, again, I could take them out if I wanted to. See here, I have air and water, but do I then need ocean? Yeah, or do I make ocean water? But I kind of like this picture too. So yeah, I'm all over it. I don't know how I feel about this yet. I think I want to maybe pull a few and see how they work for me in practice, I have a rest and I have a sleep. While they're, of course, two very different things, yeah, I'm afraid that when I get sleep, am I gonna look at it like rest while I already have a rest? So this again, is making me think maybe I need to take one out, right? But yeah, I don't want to end up with only 10 cards. um, Anyway, like I said, this is why the deck was never printed. I didn't know if I liked the AI art enough. I didn't know if the angels would work for me. What if I took some out? And the taking out part, that's only going to happen in practice, right? When you see something isn't working for you. So yeah, it was time that I just printed it, and let's see what's gonna happen. Do I want different kind of art? Will this AI art work for me? Do I want to take here? This is the one with sleep, do I want to take certain cards out? Do I want to maybe give them another name, an angel with another name? There is also a card that says other angels or angels we don't know about or something. Yeah, how am I going to interpret that again in practice, right? So yeah, like I said, I printed some of my decks, some here, the unknown angels, this one. How am I going to interpret that, right? I mean, I love the idea of this card, but how am I going to interpret that? So again, this one too, Angel of Mother's Milk. There's something very beautiful about it. And then my brain thinks, but there's also something very strange about it. How I will interpret that, So yeah, this one, I knew, before I pressed buy, that this one was absolutely not sure, I am not sure about. This one will need time. But yeah, some of these older people, I really loved. I love that artwork. I don't care it's AI, I really love it. So yes, this one I am definitely not sure about. These are the backings. But again, sometimes I need to try it. I had decks that I wasn't sure about that I love now. And I have decks that I was so sure about and I really don't grab them. Maybe there will come a time I do, but in this moment, I don't. So again, I want to give this a chance, or at least play with it enough to see what works, what doesn't work. And if I have enough left that works, yeah, how can I incorporate that in my practice? Will I still love that AI art, or is it going to drive me bonkers? Because some are beautiful. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. And then I have some, they're like, I don't know. This, for example, it's too clean or something. I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Okay, let me put this aside. Okay, another one I did. Okay, I need my. Sorry, I need something. Because I wrote it down. Otherwise, I will not be able to tell you. Yeah. Yes, this one, because I follow this artist on Instagram. I really love his work, and I took it to make my own deck because I don't know, this one made me happy. I made them massive. It really gives, with that backing and that font, it even gives it a little bit of a retro vintage kind of style. I don't know. The artist of this, what was his name? Brody. He's a digital collage artist, and I will put his Instagram handle in the description. I love his art. His art makes me happy. Normally, I'm not a fan of, well, famous people, for a lack of a better word, right, in my decks, and I don't care with this one. There are a lot of famous people in this deck, and I don't care. The colors make me happy. His art makes me happy. I don't know. There is something about this that I'm really, really enjoying. And the big ass keywords, yeah, I don't know, it makes it even more fun. Like I said, I even did the backing really like that vintage retro kind of design, you know. I'm loving this. um, so with some, we have like certain phrases or a keyword in the art, and I try to have my keyword have a sort of correlation with that, you know, but not the same. So I know my rights, especially with its face determined, right? Um, they don't all have keywords. There are some. I will point them out when we see them. I will go through them quickly. So here, I'm a man, union, justice now. You see how they are in a line. So protection. That is something that popped in my mind, right? Again, I love the colors. I love the busyness, and it's not busy in a, well, it makes me hyperventilate style, you know. It really brings joy. It really does. Here, this one, he holds a sign, you know. I spoke against discrimination in the Omaha post office and was fired. So I used the keyword silenced. There's another one where in the picture it says silenced, and there I actually used another keyword for. So here we have love and peace, but the way, you know, she stands there, and yeah, we used to say, you know, there's no love and there's no peace without justice, right? So the love and peace, I made it indifferent, you know, like we're indifferent to these things because they are not a possibility, yeah, without justice being already the foundation of these things, right? She has a paper here that says High Court bans segregation in public schools. So change, you know. Here it says strength in truth, and I used powerful. And again, the colors. It's the colors. I love the colors. They one of my favorites. One of my favorites. And I could have used this as joy, right? Or even authenticity, yeah. And while all these things are true, it was fearless that popped in my mind. I really love the picture of this young lady, you know. Everything about this picture makes me happy, but I don't know. There's something that I see in there that's making me think of fearless. Okay, we have here patience, so I made it endurance. Because you see, is also like an athlete, right? So I thought that endurance would definitely fit patience, but maybe also, right, that sporty kind of type, right? Offbeat, prejudice, hopeful. I mean, come on. So here we have vote, yeah, and so I made it responsibility. While I'm not having a deck, a tarot deck yet, that yeah, this one is the one, sorry, that said silence, yeah, and I made the keyword here anguish. So yeah, what I wanted to say is I kind of looked at my collection, yeah, and well, I was kind of like cursing a little bit because there wasn't a tarot deck that I felt like was fitting it here. A Rose in Harlem, judgmental. So there, like I said, there's not really a tarot deck that's in my collection that fits it, but I was actually, I mean, for a couple of months now, I've been looking at making a very simple, yeah, this is why it takes so long, because I'm every time I go from simple to more elaborate. Well, I really want to keep it simple. I get caught up in the trap, you know. So yeah, like I said, I am making a black and white, very simple, yeah, tarot deck. And when I could not find anything, I was also like, okay, but it is very busy art, right? Even though it's not driving me bonkers, yeah, it is definitely on the verge of being very busy. if I place something next to it that's also collage, it's gonna be more busy, right? Um, and then I thought about my black and white, because I have here the black and white and even the back, but more this, right? I really like that with the color. So I was imagining the deck I was making next to it, and I think that is gonna work. So I'm gonna be playing with this one, even with decks that are aesthetically not pleasing, you know. I'm just gonna be using it, and I'm waiting till my black and white is ready, and then I think I will pair it with this one. Now I have motivation to quickly finish my black and white one. Yes. So yeah, this one, I called it my melanated mixed media, because mixed media is being used, right? My triple M oracle. I really love it. It makes me happy. I have no deck that will fit with it, and I'm going to use it anyway. So this one, again, it kind of makes me really, really happy. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh yeah. I like I said, I can take art from Pinterest and make that work for me, you know. Well, like I said, that angel deck, I'm not too sure about, even the art, right? I mean, this year came into creation because I was loving this guy's art. It was really speaking to me. And then I had the idea, well, what if I do that and make a deck out of it, you know? It's not for sale. I mean, it's not my art, right? I cannot sell it. But I can use it. And again, you know, this is what I really wanted to do with it. So in this case, like I said, I took art, right? And I made it a deck. And then sometimes there's a deck that I like the theme from what it wants to do, but then well, let's say I don't like the art. No, honestly, I really don't like the art. And I was like, well, can I make it? Well, apparently I can. This is made, I mean, it's not in order anymore because, well, I already was playing with it. This is made after the Archetype Oracle from Carolyn something. I forgot her name. If I remember, I'll put it in the screen. I didn't like all the colored cards, you know, all the different colors. Not the biggest fan of the artwork in the middle of the thing, you know. Yeah, it was, I like the premises of the archetype, the light and shadow attributes, you know. The rest I didn't like. So a couple of months ago, I started playing. This is my backing. Really like it. I started playing with the idea to do it, and I kind of started at an evening to just, you know, design the big archetype, and then how I wanted to do the light shadow and what kind of box I wanted to put it. Because design wise, while it's very different, you will definitely see after now I told you, right? Some similarities, right? And again, everything is melanated, and I'm absolutely adoring this deck. Yeah, I didn't work with it huge because, in all honesty, I have my self-made decks I got in 2 days ago. Yeah, I think 2 or 3 days ago. You know, they were delivered. So I don't even have them that long. But again, I'm playing. I used her light and shadow sentences, you know. I used her archetype. I just wanted, well, I love my black backing, you know. I used light brown and white, even the border in this one. All of these colors are coming back here in my backing, which I love too. And again, I used melanated art in the middle, you know. And some is very haute couture, and others is a little bit more simple. But I love how this deck came together. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I have nothing to do with the design of or the making of the light or shadow attributes. I took that from her, right? I just made a deck that was not only visually my style, that I really want to use it in that sense, right? It also needs to be usable with my other decks, and all that color stuff, that was not gonna work. So yeah, I found pictures. I think, I'm not gonna lie if I say 98% of this deck, yeah, is perfect in the picture. Others, you might think like, almost. Almost, you know. But I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I love everything about this. And oh my god, the art. The art in this deck, yeah, with these hot couture pictures, yeah, most of them at least, yeah. I'm so enjoying them. I enjoy everything about this deck, yeah. It was a lot of fun to make, yeah. Because I was really looking for that right picture with the right archetype, yeah. And that was not always easy. But somehow, like I said, for 98%, I feel like it was almost like perfection, you know? And the few ones that I was like, you know, almost, but not really, they still work, you know? So yeah, this one, like I said, the premises of the original deck is something that I really enjoyed, you know. I just didn't want to spend that kind of money for a deck I knew, yeah, that I would like, but I would not use that much because I was not liking what I saw, right? For me, if I see something and it works for me and it's beautiful and it's aesthetically pleasing, this is also that spark of inspiration that will make me want to grab the deck. You know what I mean? So yes, yeah, this was a hard card. That archetype, you know, and then with melanated pictures, right? That was a hard one. Um, I still think I did a great job because she is not bound, you know, she's bound by herself, right? And the light attributes surrounding your power of choice in the divine, or surrender your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. And it's like she's sitting, holding herself, but looking up, right? And the shadow is here, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choice. Yeah. Um, but yeah, that word, right? I mean, that's loaded. But I still think I did it justice in that sense of the meanings, right? But yeah, like I said, this was a very different project for me, also in the sense of the art style, right? Um, but oh, I'm enjoying it so much. Here, these two also. This was so fun. I remember that they came not together because, well, they're not behind each other, right? Maybe they did, I don't know. But student teacher, and I actually found him here, yeah, making this well, almost circle, right? And I found them here with bags, you know. So you know what I mean. Again, I had a lot of fun finding the right kind of picture with the right archetype, you know. See, this one was a questionable one, like. It's okay, but it's not like that. It's like 90%, but it's not that 100% right. For me, this was 100%. This was 100%. Even this detective, and they're in that black leathery suit, you know. Oh my god, perfect, right? I'm sorry, I'm losing stuff. Liberator. I mean, you know what I mean. Again, that fitted so right. Scribe. Yeah, this for me too is perfect. Engineer, I mean, come on, it couldn't be more perfect. Alchemist, I went in a different way. I looked for different skin tones, so different melanated tones, right? And I wanted that to be the alchemist card. Because mom and dad, you know, they put different things, they mix different things together, right? And not one is exactly the same. And yeah, that I kind of liked. So yeah, like I said, this was definitely a very fun project. In the beginning, I was even thinking of not doing the different children, and I ended up doing all of them. So yes, I mean, companion. Yeah, here I did the 2 words because they fitted in my line, you know. There's another one. I did it a little different. This is one of my favorite cards. I mean, that hair of that man. And yes, it's a man. The father archetype. Oh, I really love this picture. Might be one of my favorites in here. Shapeshifter, that was of course hard in a picture, but I kind of like that she's almost matching all these colors. It kind of made me think like a chameleon, right? So yeah, that worked for me. So yeah, like I said, this was a fun project, and when I was done, yeah, here I did the 2 also, because again, that was fitting in here. Yeah, here not. You had again 2, hero and heroine. I'm not liking the word heroine. It sounds too druggy. I mean, it's weird, man. So I didn't mind doing it here, between the little bows, you know, so that it would still fit, because it would not fit if I did it with 2, you know. I mean, even this one for the vampire, I mean, ain't that perfect? I think it's perfect. Here, Dongwon. Again, even now looking at it, yeah, the fact that I found so many great, I mean, come on, Rebel, right? One of my favorites also, but I love the poet one too. Hedonist, visionary, goddess. I mean, again, this one, yeah, I want to show you that one in a second. So this was another one. This was the mother archetype. I love that too. The angel. I mean, come on. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. I mean, I made it, right? At least I put them together. I mean, she's holding the boots, you know, on her hands. I thought it was fun. The martyr, the knight. Yes, I'm going to show you this one in a second. Samaritan, advocate. I don't know, that vintage style that she's wearing, it really reminds me of those people that got, or the youth, right, that got influenced by Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and you know what I mean. Exorcist, you see here somebody like the same but leaving her. So again, for me, that was like, again, I was just happy. It was like perfection. And my king and queen, I mean, aren't they beautiful? I really, really, really love them. I am very biased, of course, because I made this. So, well, you would think that I would love it, right? So, yes. Okay, let me put this not together, because otherwise they're going to get together. Okay, then I was thinking about, well, because it has a black background, it will probably work with most decks, right? I think I can place this with a lot of my decks and I will be just fine, yeah? But then I had another thing, or thought, sorry. This is one of my tarot decks, Shrine of the Black Medusa, that I don't actually pair because it's too busy. No matter what I put there, yeah, it's just too much, right? But this is really like that vocal point, right? We pull an archetype, and then I think, yeah, it's the thing about, well, building a reading around that. And I suddenly needed to think about this deck because, again, it's not one, yeah, that I'm using with other decks. But I think in this case, yeah, it actually works perfect. I have no idea why this works, but it works. I hope you can see what I mean, so that I'm not the only one here, you know. But putting these together, yeah, actually really, really, really brought me great joy. Again, I think I can pair this with most of my other decks, but this was definitely working too. What do you think? I'm not going to go through the whole deck because this is a biggie, you know, a lot of cards. The fun part is I can always add, right, if I have archetypes. I started with her standard deck, you know. But the fun part is, like I said, if I want to add certain archetypes, right, I can always add to this deck. But again, I wanted the standard one to really see if this works for me, because I never bought the original one. I love the idea of that deck, but I didn't like the colors, the art, anything about it, you know. So I never, you know, used it. So I want to give myself some time to really use it. And if I then have archetypes I want to add, I mean, I can make this deck, yeah, as big as I want, right? So yes, let me stop there, because again, this has a lot of cards, which is cool, but I cannot go through the whole deck because there are more. I have more. So yes, my archetype deck, yeah, I am very happy with. I already did a pull today, and then I took one card of this, and then let me go over to the other deck, and that one is also one that I'm gonna be pairing with that oracle I told you in the beginning. This is the artwork of this, not the titles, the art, well, some titles. I cannot tell you which ones anymore. There were a few that I changed a little bit, but I took his premises, but mostly not. But some definitely. Anyway, the artwork is of Peter Idoko. He is a Nigerian artist from Lagos. And the way his art is done is not with paints. He does it with fire and razor blades. And if you look at it up close, yeah, again, I will put his Instagram handle in the description. It is something amazing. He has some of them close up, you know, where you can really see him working on it. And again, it is something, it boggles my mind. And I've been following this brother now for a long time. And every time I see a piece of his art, yeah, it evokes emotion. So I did the same thing. I mean, this one was bringing me a lot of joy, right? Like I said, I love the colors. It's making me so happy, you know. I love that. This one is a different kind of emotion, you know. This one definitely goes deeper, and certain titles you might understand directly, definitely in combination with the art. Others you might not, and I don't even know how to explain them to you, because again, it's about an emotion that it evoked in me. But here I went another way. Again, with this one keyword, right? Celestial, restrained, energy, determined, dynamic, protection, anguish. You know what I mean? Here we go a little bit in a different way. I will not say them all, I think. We will see. Ancient secrets of ancestral blood. You see here like a hermit's lamp, you know, and then there's an electricity cable connecting the lamp with her, well, her heart space almost, right? Unshackled paws. Strength in distress. Footprints in the sand. Entangled dreams. Redefine the pain. Open and exposed. Part of the symphony. Pave the path. The lonely view. Tears falling from heaven. Virtuous soul. Mental slavery. Unfinished story. The cover to uncover. Rising from devastation. Expression embodied. Oh, what is sticky? Okay. ragged souls and inconsistencies, guide the flames, biggest opponent, alone in silence, propaganda spreading over my name, a helping hand, whispering dreams of rejuvenation, breaking in denial, solitary reflection, visible thoughts, change up your frequency, just getting broken, carry on the legacy, freedom's rhythm, the twisted view, reality bends to my will, cleansing waters flow, spirits rise within you, caring, sharing, peace in creation, waiting for a change, strength and progression, the stranger who loves you, find a way, shake off the darkness, mysterious and sublime, highlight the deeper beauty, just keep breathing, hushed echoes, beneath the calm, the key to liberty, rising from the ashes. I think his original piece was called Phoenix. I changed it in, not in the meaning, right? But I did change it a little bit, rising from the ashes. The thunderstorm you survived. Not looking back. Longing for self. Essence of being. Feminine strength. Chained by the rage. Never conform. Okay, so this, and these are the backings. I mean, I really thought that fitted, right? You know, I really like them. Anywho, this was one that when I actually got this one in, I was thinking about this one. This one was already done, you know, and I was thinking about this one. I was like, I don't know why, but something is telling me to put them together, you know. And it brings some melanated in here, right? If that works. I did a flip through like I'm doing now, and I found a lot of great messages right from the top. But this one has also cards that I'm gonna need my guidebook for, you know. Like noir. Okay, that's black, but what does that mean in here, right? So this one, yeah, I'm really looking forward, you know, to really work with together, which we will do. I mean, that's kind of fun, right? The teeth whispering dreams of rejuvenation. Some kind of are fun, some really make sense, and others are like, okay, I'm gonna need the guidebook. Feliness. Oh, okay. A helping hand. I kind of like, you see two people and we see two people, you know. Introspection. Propaganda spreading over my name. Ephemerality. Alone in silence. Perspective. The biggest opponent. Duality. Guide the flames. The veil. Ragged souls and inconsistencies. Again, this was really something that, like I said, inside I was like, I don't know why, but I need to put them together. And like I said, I cannot work with every deck, directly, but this is definitely gonna happen. I don't know yet, like I said, because I haven't put my mind there yet, but I don't know yet with which tarot I want to work with it. I just know when I do my next reading, I want to be pairing them together. So yeah, I cannot wait. I don't know why. It's just something in me that tells me I need to do it. So we're gonna do it, and from there, we will see if my intuition, did that for a reason. So yeah, let me put this aside. Okay, what else do I have? I think one more. Yeah, I think one more. The booklet. Okay, so let me check. I did this. I did this. I did this. I showed you that. Yes. Oh, the last one. And I also have a pairing. Okay, this is a monster deck. It has 99 cards. So I told you I let 50% of my collection leave, One of the hardest things to let go of were certain botanical decks. As a woodworker, I love a good deck. The problem is, one of the decks has a certain plant I really want to see in a deck, and then the other deck has another plant I want to see in the deck. And it's never one deck that has everything I want, This one with 99 cards, I still feel like I missed something. Anyway, I got, let me see. Which one did stay or did nothing stay? And I really focused on this one, and I'm going to be building on this one. That might actually be the case. Because I was almost done with the design of this one when I was decluttering, and then I put all my my effort into this one. Yeah, these are the backings, really simple, because these are the fronts. So like I said, I am 99 cards in, and I still feel like, I can, add another 100, So what did I do? I gave it a name of the plant we're seeing. I gave the Latin name of the plant we're seeing, and then I did a keyword, I used the artwork of these old encyclopedias, the king something. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description for you guys. I really love that old style of art, or art that the old drawings of the plants. When they take them apart, they show you the flower and the seeds, and you know what I mean? I really enjoy that. So that is what I used, And again, I'm loving the concept of this. I just got it, but I'm loving the concept of this. So I cannot wait to really, really work with this. So yeah, blessed thistle, awareness, tamarind, community, and I'm not going by any kind of guidebook in this sense. I do go by experience, intuition, and of course my herbal books, how or for what certain plants are used. Lemon trust, henbane suspension. So yeah, like I said, this one it's a biggie. It definitely is a biggie. But I kind of like it. Sassafras, faith, cinnamon, ritual, mayapple, fertility, hellebore, restlessness, arnica, stillness, apple, harvest. I do believe I found a great light and shadow in my keywords, which is again important to me. I don't need to hear, yeah, that everything is fine and you know, rainbows and sunshine and unicorns and all that. Anywho, so I made this one. I tried over the years, you know, to find a good oracle, and in all honesty, there were multiple ones that worked, but were never perfect. So this too is a deck that I kind of use on its own most of the time, but I actually kind of want to give it a go. Okay, we need to reduce this because it's just too much. It's too high. It's gonna put a shadow on the rest of the cards. So I'm hoping that's okay. Just to show a little bit, you know, of how that would look. Because I do, yeah, love my Terror of Bones. I mean, this box, yeah, is gonna fall apart pretty soon. But I love my Shadow of Bones. But I want something natural to complement that, you know. And I think that I might actually have now found a great deck to pair it with. Which is, I'm calling this my Working the Root Oracle. As a root worker, right? Working the root. Yeah. And visually, I'm definitely loving it, right? I did the same thing as I'm doing now, and great messages, you know, popped up. So I'm having faith in this one, not gonna lie. I didn't do a full reading, like really, you know what I mean? But just like this, when I'm looking at what I'm getting, you know, I got some great pop-ups, you know, messages, nice and clear, really fitting, you know, with what you're getting. So again, I have high hopes for this. And again, visually, I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love it. But yeah, that's not always the most important thing, right? But I do love aesthetics, I'm not gonna lie. But again, it needs to work, right? It definitely needs to work. So yeah, these two, yeah, I'm really, really happy. I think they are great, and I'm loving this deck. Yeah, it was a lot of work. Yeah, it was driving me crazy at certain times. But yeah, again, I'm really happy. I am really happy with this one. Why, if I pull it in two parts, you know, I get cards that follow each other. So yes, I cannot wait, you know, to really put this in practice. I already know what I want to do with it. I hope that it works, you know, because sometimes I have an idea and then in practice, right, it's not how I visualized it. But yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing, and not just, like I said, visually, also in the sense of messages, you know. So I think, yeah, this is definitely gonna work. So yeah, and that was the last deck that I created. But yeah, like I said, for me, I really want to focus on things that will really add, you know, to my practice. I don't want to just have decks for, well, the sake of having decks. I got rid sounds so negative, right? But yeah, I resold, you know, certain other decks that I was thinking that I was not ever gonna sell. And then when I was really honest with myself, you know, and I really faced myself, like, how many times do I really use it? Do I choose other decks over this deck? And then, like I said, when I held up that mirror, yeah, it became much easier, you know, to let go. And then still, that letting go, yeah, is the hardest part. Once they are gone, you know, I think there was one deck that I did think about, you know, but even then I was like, I'm good, you know. I was a little bit scared when I let go of all my other plant herb decks, yeah. But I could let them go because I'm looking for that one perfect deck. And I realize now I'm never going to get that unless I make it, right? And even with this, because all of this kind of drawings, there are so many of them from, well, I think basically any plant that's out there, right? So even now, if I want to add, to this, yeah, that's going to be easy because the design is there, right? Um, the design is here. I mean, I can change the picture. I can put their name, and I can give that a keyword that fits my need. um and in all honesty, even when I have now like 99, yeah, and I have no repeating keywords, yeah, but even if I would have certain words that overlap or are repeating with the deck even growing more, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, out of 99 cards, if I take 3 cards and that keyword were to show up more than once, that might actually be a warning, right? um so yeah, like I said, for now I'm good because again I got 99 cards. I mean, I'm good. I'm really good. But if I want to, I can add to this deck, and I think that is gonna make it perfect, right? So yeah, I'm really liking this. I love that it's so beautiful with my Terror of Bones because I feel like it's all nature here, right? I'm really tapping into uh the earth elements in this sense, right? And I'm really enjoying that. So yes, so yeah, like I said, I spent this month still, yeah, enough money because printing them is also not cheap, um but yeah, I'm doing that now, more uh with more intention. I got this month multiple ones. Let me check. One, two, three, four. Yeah, I printed 6 decks. Um and even if you would buy 6 decks, right, you can get overwhelmed and stuff like that. I went into my folders, which decks were done, which decks I knew for sure. Like I said, this one, for example, this was a sure thing. This one was done. I was ready to get it, right? My this one, let me just get a feel. This one was done. I was ready to get it. Others, like I said, like my angel one, right? I mean, it's been there so long, yeah. I don't know, yeah, how this is gonna work, but I do know that as long as it's there, yeah, I will never find out, yeah. um by making it, or by bringing it in and actually using it, right, it is gonna tell me, yeah, what I can or cannot do with this deck. So this one, time will tell, right? Same with this one, yeah. It was about time that I found out, yeah. Even though the aesthetics now, color-wise, were gonna work, with the Delta Enduring, because it does. I don't know, because of the art style, yeah. There are definitely things that I feel that sometimes may not fit. I don't know, the African proverbs. I don't know. That was in my mind, right? Now that I put it together, yeah, I can see the correlations. I can see it working. Again, time will tell. I just have it. I didn't have enough time to tell you for 100% sure. That every time I pull them together, I get beautiful readings. But at the same time, this was a deck I already wanted. In the worst case scenario, if I don't like it with the Delta Enduring, I can get it. I can use it on my own, Even though it has the colors of Delta Enduring, I can still use it on my own, or on its own, yeah. So, like I said, it was time, yeah, to pull the trigger and give it a try. When it comes to, really getting into my collection, I mean, over the months, I've been talking about, sorry, there was something in my eye. Over the months, I've been talking, about um social justice, right? What's happening in Gaza, how it pains me, how it stops me, even in my spirituality at times. And the consumerism behind this, um, what the States and the West, what their end goal is, right? And I feel like that even in this small corner of tarot, um, ordering shit from Amazon, is not right for my brain, um, because every time I do it, I feel like guilt, and I cannot do it. When it comes to spending money on, okay, this is not frivolous for me, don't get me wrong, my spirituality is very important to me, but after 1 hour of watching Al Jazeera, it almost feels frivolous, right? Decks, at least, right? This paper, um standing in front of my closet with 100 decks, and trying to have an argument in my mind about which deck to use. Who the hell gives a shit, right? I'm sorry. All of these things, they help me realize, that if I want to be tapping into my spirituality, whether that's redesigning a deck that isn't mine, right? Because the premises of this deck isn't mine. I might have changed the design in color and picture, but that's it, right? Or I'm taking art that I didn't create, but at least because I'm actually involved in the process, whether that's putting the right kind of keyword for me on this art piece, right? Or finding the right kind, of picture that will go with the archetype vampire. Or like I said, even with this one, tapping into a part of myself that didn't want to just have a keyword, that went deeper. While I know that maybe for some, certain parts will not make sense at all, that doesn't matter. It makes sense to me. This is artwork. This one was from Peter Idoko. Um, this is not a deck I'm gonna sell, right? Because I'm already using somebody else's art, so I can do weird things with that, because nobody needs to understand but me, right? Um, so, like I said, whether I'm taking art or whether I'm redoing a deck or whatever it is, right? I want to go back, to things that are important to me. Spending whatever kind of money to get the newest deck because everybody has their deck, right? These things are not important, you know. Um, I'm not gonna tell you that I will never buy a deck. Of course not. I mean, I told you I got this one in October. There is something about it that's calling me. It's not melanated, so that made me maybe even pay more attention because I was like, why is this calling to me? This is not where I want to go in my practice. And yet, right? I just think that we're living in a time, where we go with the flow, we follow social media, we like, subscribe, and do all these things, and I feel like a lot of people are forgetting, who they really are in the process. And I don't want to do that, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect because I'm definitely not, um, but I don't want to fall into that trap, I rather have, at a certain point, 100 decks in my collection and have 80 of them be made by myself. Because every deck I make, they're going to be perfect. If, like I said, this his art, right? If there is a piece that is like not talking to me, I don't put it in the deck. If I need to buy it from somebody and they put every art piece in their deck, there might be a few cards that well are not working for me. I am that weird person that has a hard time, taking cards out of a deck. Um, I know other people can do that. For me, it feels like, well, I'm missing something. I know it's weird. I'm fully aware, Um, but what I'm trying to say, I built that deck then, even if the artwork isn't mine, but I build it to my specifications. You know what I mean? And I want to be working more, yeah, in the future, with decks that, or with divination tools I created myself, yeah, um, or sets I created myself, because, well, I don't create shells, but I work with shells. I don't create bones, but I work with my bone set. Um, I just want to be focusing, yeah, on things that are tailor made, right, to my collection, or to my practice. Sorry, to my practice. Um, and that is what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I'm not gonna say that I will never buy anything. I mean, I did, right? I bought this one, and we will see. Time will tell us. But I just want to be focused more on my practice and how I fill that in and what I want to use, instead of buying the newest deck, yeah, because all of Tarot Tube, is showing it, so now I must have it, yeah. I don't want to do that. I was already not really doing that, but I'm a human. I'm just as sensitive to as other people are for that, right? Um, I have controlled myself well, I think, over the years. But even I mess up. Yeah, I know I don't like the deck. I mean, in all seriousness, right? This one, there's a part of me that already knows. Yeah, I don't know why I got it. I know why I got it. I was seduced by the freaking low price, yeah, of this deck. And again, if I tell you, yeah, you will send me the stink eye. Um, I don't regret buying this for that price, but I do know, well, not know, but let me put it like this. I am 90% sure, and I was that already before I bought this, right? That in the long term, this is not a deck I'm using. Yeah? Even though, okay, how do I say it? Okay. I pay €3 for this deck. I'm gonna say it. I wanted to say I would have paid more for an ice cream. I don't know if that's true. um, it was the €3 that did me in. I was like, oh hell no, right? I want to get it because it's a deck I've been looking at for a long time, and every time I tell myself I don't need it because I'm not going to use it, but the €3 was like, well, I don't care if I use it. It gives me the opportunity to see if I will use it, and I'm 90% sure I'm not. I'm going to try it anyway. We will see. When I'm a couple of months in and it doesn't work for me, who knows? Maybe I can make somebody happy, right? um, but like I said, I want to be getting back to my more authentic practice. When I started out, yeah, my toes, yeah, was everything to me. And I showed you all my toes, right? My Nubian toes. In the last, I don't know, are we already a year? I don't know if I'm already a year in. But since I have this one in print, yeah, on my desk, this one really took its place of my original toes, yeah. And in all honesty, I love that. I didn't know that was gonna happen. I hoped it was gonna happen, but I didn't know until I have it, right? Till it's here. So for me, the thing is, this is 100% now my deck. The alkebulan, yeah, kind of slipped into my ancestral space. Once this came in, this became my first choice for my everyday readings, right? While the alkebulan, like I said, it kind of slipped into my ancestral space, which again I love. I have absolutely no problem with. I love getting back to toes, and I love getting back to my toes deck. And this to me, like I said, I made this from scratch, right? This is not somebody else's art. Yeah, I did this. And not only that knowledge, yeah, but the way I enjoy what I did, that combination fills me with joy. It fills me with pride. I'm very proud of myself for this deck. Um, and at the same time, yeah, I tap into something very deep within me. When I use this deck, yeah, I don't need a guidebook. You know what I mean? I don't need nothing. I just need this deck. This is also a deck that I actually don't pair. I love families. I love working with tarot, oracle, and I mean that in combination. I have a set that I work with that are 3 decks: oracle, oracle, oracle. And then I have a set I work with, yeah, there's 3 oracle and 1 tarot. And you know what I mean? Like, I love to work with sets. I love to build on a reading. But like I said, this is mostly, yeah, I use this as my everyday. In the morning with my cup of coffee, right? I do my shuffle, yeah, and I pull my 3 cards. And again, I'm just loving this deck. This deck truly makes me happy. And there are a lot of cups. um, but yeah, like I said, this deck has become so important to me, in my daily practice. I was actually talking with a friend about it, who always kind of teases me about my original toes, right? Because she's definitely a Rider-Waite girl. And I don't know what she said. She kind of made a joke, yeah, about the toes, and I kind of joked back, because I said that I hadn't been using the toes tarot, yeah, for a long time, and I think she got some coffee in the wrong pipe hole. And I was joking because what I meant, was the original toes. It kind of this one took its place, and that is what I want. I want my own tools, to become, yeah, the go-tos, right? Okay, anyway, I've been ranting. I just, like I said, I have my intentions for 2024, and yeah, more of my own decks I will be getting printed. Some are done, some are not done. But it gave me a little bit also of inspiration, to finish those decks that I'm working on. And hopefully in this year, in the following months, yeah, I can actually bring these creations, well, to life, in the sense of printing, right? So yes. Anywho, let me know what you think. Yeah, if you have some intentions for 2024, or yeah, how your practice is unfolding, please share. I would love to know if you want to share, of course. And yeah, like I said, any questions, also feel free to ask them. If I can answer, I will answer as soon as possible. And yeah, that was it. That was a little bit of my deck haul, but yeah, not like I said. I mean, I bought them, right? I still need to pay the printer. A little bit of a different deck haul, right? One that I made myself. I kind of cleaned out my folders. Again, anyway, I want to thank you all if you watched this, because I feel like I've been on way too long. You know what to do. Stay kind, stay aware, and be blessed. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.